Hi everyone, hi Nick. I'm back to share my latest project with you. This is a hardcover journal with a rounded spine. I played around, watched a couple of videos, played around with seeing if I could make a rounded spine. I'm pretty pleased with it for my first attempt at it. It was a lot easier than I thought it would be actually. The rest of the cover is made out of bookboard, the same bookboard that I usually use. And it's 2 signatures. The cover is fabric, and that is some coffee dyed muslin that I inked with vintage photo, rusty hinge, and brushed corduroy. Because I wanted it to look like just like a really old book that maybe had gotten water stained or something like that. With the Tim Holtz corners, and then on the cover is some vintage silk, a vintage crochet doily, a vintage photograph of a little girl, which I sewed all together and glued onto the cover. And then I just sewed together these little pieces. This is some vintage crocheted trim from a towel, and some vintage buttons, and some lace, and a little ribbon rose. And I just glued that onto the corner there. Closure is sari silk, and it's tucked under the paper that lines the inside, and it measures, measures 8 by 6, and I'm going to try to go fairly quickly here because my carpenter is gone to Lowe's to get some stuff. Alan just left, so I got a few minutes before it gets noisy downstairs again with construction on my kitchen. So I want to get this filmed before they get back, and start banging around again down there. So let's just go inside. The paper I used is the Tim Holtz Memoranda collection, which is really pretty. Lots of lace, lots of sewing, tsunami rose, and Tim Holtz ephemera, and things I made, and bits out of my stash. So I just left the cover front and back. Inside I just left it plain, and the lace is sewn on all of the Tim Holtz, on all of the pattern paper, and everything else is coffee dyed. Did some layering on some flip-ups here, made some tags out of some paper scraps, sewed coffee dyed paper onto some tsunami rose ephemera. I kind of tried to use ones that looked like advertising or checks, things like that would kind of go along with the theme of the paper here. So we just have some different kinds of papers, different sizes. Oops. Glassine bag with just a tag that I made out of paper scrap. And it's a little Tim Holtz little girl there with a vintage flash card and a little piece of ephemera tucked under her skirt. And that flips open so you can write under. And that's just glued down. Some Edith Holden here, some of my old sheet music from high school. This has a little lace pocket with bits of ephemera, and it also, you can write in it, and it flips up as well. Some lined paper. Did some just some fabric flip-ups just layered some fabric, sewed them together, and then glued them onto the pages. So you can write under there, you can pin things to it. Some Tim Holtz children, and just some ephemera. It's just some extra paper. Some vintage ledger. Doilies are from Junk That Treasures. Some flip there. That is Tsunami Rose. And that's a Tim Holtz photograph. And this is a piece of vintage ledger with the original writing still on it. It looks like it's from they've written 44 instead of 34. So tuck that in there as well. Some more Edith Holden, some dictionary, and some more vintage ledger, vintage textbook, damask bags with some ephemera inside for extra journaling space. Some of my Walmart trim. And this is the center of the signature, and this will all come apart if you take these paper clips off. And so you can write on all the surfaces. And inside, that's an Artie Mays envelope with some journaling space inside it. Just tucks in there, and then I just tucked a nickel sleeve and a piece of Tim Holtz ephemera under the light bulb here. And on the back is just a little tuck spot from a scrap of paper and this Tsunami Rose file folder and some more ephemera. Just tucks in there. Some dictionary. Paper bag with some more ephemera for journaling. It's another one of these flip ups, and just layered a bunch of bits and pieces. You can write in there, and it also folds up. Got a little twisted in my sewing machine, but I just thought it looked made it look even looked more kind of vintage and rumpled, so I left it right under there as well. This is a vintage photograph, and tucked under there is this more Tsunami Rose, and so is this one. And it's just a chunky tag I made out of a scrap of the paper. And that's some more of that vintage silk. It's just got some crocheted lace sewn on it, and then it's just glued down. And then I punched a hole and put the hole reinforcers and put a little banner there on a garment pin. This is another layered flip up. It's a Tim Holtz tag I made. This is some vintage dictionary or textbook, I think. Even might even be, what is it? It's a textbook or something. It's vintage anyway. Some sort of a little book. And that's a Tim Holtz shipping tag. Some children's writing paper. Some more lined paper. Another tuck spot just made from the paper scraps. And that is Tsunami Rose. Some journal card and this little ephemera there. It's just that flips down, and this is a big file folder and a piece of ephemera. There's another one there. It's just paper clipped on, and I made a couple of altered paper clips. It's just got some layered pieces, scrap from the paper collection, and a vintage button. And behind it I put this big journaling sheet. That's just glued down for interest. There's the middle. It's the second signature. It's a flip up. It's a large ephemera piece for more journaling. A tag that I made. Some Tim Holtz people. And that's from his botanical collection. Did another little dangly thingy there with a garment pin and a little tag. Some more Edith Holden children's paper. Some more Tim Holtz botanicals. There's another layered flip up. Some different ephemera pieces for journaling on the back. That one, and a couple of Tim Holtz children. Some dictionaries, some more vintage ledger from 1936. It's another paper bag. Put these ladies and little girls on there. And it's just some ephemera for extra journaling, and these don't have to stay here. They can be moved throughout the book or in another project. It's another vintage photograph that I made into a tuck spot. Just some ephemera. This one opens up. And then this one. Another little a little hidey spot. This is a piece of vintage towel, and then some other just layered bits and pieces, sewn together and then glued on. And then this flips open, and it also flips up, and you can tuck something in there if you wish. A craft paper bag, and let's see, what did I do? This is all layered all over the place here. So there's a large tag in the bag in here, and that's a vintage photograph. Looks like a lady and her grandchild. And it's a glassine bag. There, a little bag goes in there, and then another tag goes behind. Where did I put it? No, it's behind. What did I do? I can't remember now. Goes here. There we go. Goes like that. Like that. There. Goes like that. I think that's what I did. Blank on the back. Lined paper, some more Edith Holden. Lots of room for journaling in this journal. Tuck spot. Lots of ephemera. There's another Tsunami Rose file folder. And then this little piece. piece. Some more of my music. This is center of the signature, and it's just paper clipped together, so this opens up so you can write on all surfaces. And in there is another Artie Mae's envelope with some journaling space inside. Just tucks in there, and you can also tuck behind the flap. And on the back, under the paper clip, I just clipped this card here and a little butterfly. It's another flip up. That's some more ephemera and another tag that I made. It's just another little tag with a couple little ephemera, teeny tiny pieces, ephemera pieces just glued on. And there's one more of these, just layered up, and right inside and under. It's another altered paper clip, and I just tucked another one of these Tim Holtz photo booth strips underneath it. And on this side is just this long ephemera strip here. It's just some more of the botanicals, and you can actually tuck underneath it. And there's another fabric flip up with some Tim Holtz people, and I think this was a piece of embroidery from something that I attempted when I was quite young by the looks of it. But I thought it was kind of cool, so I just cut it apart and put it in here. And sewed some fabric and some Hobby Lobby lace to it and glued it in. Must have been one of my first attempts at embroidery. And another tuck spot with some Tim Holtz people, piece of ephemera, and a little journal card made out of some ledger from 1989. There's another paper bag. I just used one of these little number clips with just made a little piece of little journaling card and this little tiny piece of ephemera there. And this inside for more journaling. And this can be moved throughout, of course. That's vintage ledger, dictionary, doily, flip up, some more ephemera, another tag, and this round one. Let's stay down. Children's paper, Edith Holden. This piece of ephemera looks like a torn off envelope. And with this journal card and this postcard. And that is that, and that is the back. So that is that one. This will be listed in the shop, Pumpkin Patch Journals. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And I will see you again soon with another completed project. And I hope everyone has a great day. See you next time. Bye.